Everyone, Mac Gardner here, certified financial planner and your host of Motivate Your Money. I am here with a very special guest, Dr. Megan McCoy, who is a leader in so many ways in this financial education space. I'm not going to take away her thunder. I'm going to allow Megan to just share a little bit about her journey and why she is joining us for 3 pointers to share her 3 motivational money messages. Megan, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Megan. And I don't know exactly how to describe how I got here other than luck, maybe. I went to my doctoral program to study therapy. I was always an MFT. I was like that little kid who wanted to be a therapist when they were 8, like from Charlie Brown. I had my little therapy stand. So I went back for my PhD to learn how to be a better therapist. But PhD programs don't teach you that. They teach you stats and theory and research. And I'm sitting there getting more and more bored. And the Financial Therapy Association just happened to come to town. And I got to see a live demonstration of a financial planner and a therapist working together to work on someone's financial well-being. I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. My clients need this. Like, I'm diving in. So I started.
The spark started flying, huh?
So someone who at that point had like 100,000 student loans, didn't even know where they're housed. Like, that's how financially illiterate I was in my mid to late 20s. I jumped into these really difficult financial courses, realized that they weren't as difficult as I thought. I just had to apply myself, gain some financial confidence, went on to volunteer for the Financial Therapy Association, been on their board of director, get my accredited financial counselor degree, get my certified financial therapy degree, and actually now work in a financial planning department at Kansas State, which I never, ever would have guessed when I was that 28-year-old avoiding my student loans, not knowing where they're housed. Because I really did discover as I worked on my financial well-being, that my relational well-being, that my mental health, that all these other things in my life were getting better. And so I wish the same thing for everyone, to have financial well-being and overall well-being.
And that, Megan, is why we are having you on 3 pointers to share, your top 3 motivational money message. I like to say that there's a top 3 for everything, right? There's a top 3 for sodas, the top 3 for cars, there's a top 3 for pretty much anything to think of. And so what we would love for you to share are your top 3 messages that either you live by yourself, that you share with folks or with clients or some of the people that you work with on a regular basis, because financial wellness is a big area that I believe needs a lot more attention, a lot more focus. So if you could share with us what those top 3 are, and then we can delve into them a little bit more, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. My very first one is that tracking apps are designed to be gamified. They're supposed to be fun. And I always, as a young person, didn't want to pay attention to my bank accounts or where my money was going, because I felt like I didn't have any. And it wasn't until I downloaded a whole bunch and I found one that was putting the right images up, that was giving me the right notifications, that was gamified enough that I actually used it, that I was able to track my money. And once I tracked my money, I was able to spend more on the things that brought me joy and less on those like accidental purchases, if that makes sense. So gamify your tracking app.
Okay. Number 1.
And then number 2 is talk to your loved ones about money. I know it's so hard to talk to family and friends about money. The money taboo is so real. But the more we can talk to our loved ones, the more we can learn from each other, the more we can bring our social network up, the more we can support one another, the more we can learn from others' mistakes. So just have conversations about money, because not only will you learn more, but you'll also gain insights on people's values, their dreams, their hopes, their desires. You will gain intimacy by talking to your loved ones about money.
I love that one. All right, what's point number 3?
Saving for saving's sake does not work. It might work for a couple of you guys. You could just like say, I'm going to save this month and that's good. For me, it doesn't work. I need to save for a purpose. I need to line up my savings account to say Europe 2028 or Honda Civic replacement 2022 or whatever it needs to be. It needs to be something I'm excited about, because I won't put money in my savings account just to savings 101. I need to put it into some kind of dream or hope for the future. So don't save for saving's sake, save for a dream or a hope.
I love all 3 of your points. First one deals with technology, which we're big on. Second one deals with stories and conversations, which we're big on. And the third one deals with planning and giving your money purpose, which we're super big on. So let's start with number one. Start with number one. As you know, I am the Chief Education Officer at Finland Tech, and our mission is to build a bridge between financial literacy and financial technology, because we believe that technology can do so many great things to help people on their financial life journey. So when you say, utilizing technology, unpack that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what that journey looked like for you and why you had that number one.
Yeah, I just had just in my past, first of all, when I was mostly financially unhealthy, I don't even think I had a smartphone yet. I do know, I remember my brother actually was one of the first people to play around with different apps. He's an IT guy by training. And one day we went to the movies and he opened his app and was like, look how much I have left for entertainment this month. I'm going to go buy popcorn. And I was blown away that his app actually allowed him to buy something rather than telling him not to buy something. And that's when I started digging into it. I'm like, I think people think of tracking spending or budgeting as like restriction, but no, when you do it right, it actually is like discovering what gives you joy. And that's what my apps look like. I ended up, playing with a bunch of them and then renaming them and making them my own and seeing it as like a video game to say, which category do I need more money in? Which categories do I need to restrict a little bit? And don't bring me joy. And it became a game for me.
I think that gamification aspect is big, and it gets a couple different perspectives. We believe that gamifying the process is important for educating, because we want to be able to meet people where they are and feel comfortable. Our book, The Four Money Bears, and the app that we're developing, The Four Money Bears Berryville, is intentionally a gamified solution, because the target demographic is elementary school kids. And when you're dealing with elementary school kids, it better be in a game, otherwise they're not going to do it. So even for adults, I think you're right, having something that makes you enjoy the process of learning and going through and dealing with your money is a lot easier to digest than something that's kind of boring and stale and like, okay, yeah. And you make another valid point. So long, the term budget has had this negative connotation when it shouldn't. A budget's just simply rules you give your money, and you got to have rules, right? So I definitely appreciate that. Let's talk about point number two, because I'm a huge fan of having conversations about money. As a CFP and advised for many years, one of the biggest issues is people don't talk to their family and their kids about money. So tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah. So some of the researchers I worked with, we had a couple papers come out recently about financial conversations. I should give a shout out to Ken and Kim, who are my colleagues. We worked on projects. First of all, we found in one study, nearly 80% of the sample had not talked to a single soul about money in an entire year. And that's just a missed opportunity to learn about each other. And money is really, I think Jeffrey Dew and Stewart once said, money is the object where we project our dreams, our hopes, our fears onto. So if we're not having financial conversations, we're not getting to those onion levels with our loved ones. In a similar paper, we also found out that families that talked about investing to children, beyond savings, beyond earning, investing, their children's financial well-being was just so much better than those who didn't talk about investing. And I don't mean playing the stock market. I mean 401ks and Roth. I mean the boring investing that actually is
the long-term stuff.
Yeah, the long-term thinking. They were just so much better off. And so it's something I really encourage people to do, is talk to your family about money. But beyond the technical stuff, like share, like, how do you think money should be used? Like, how do we give money to the charities or the groups that we want to support? Like, how do we bring our world, make our world better through our money? I think those are conversations that are so rich.
What I love about that point, Megan, is we talk about the socialization of many things in our lives, why language is pervasive, why foods are pervasive, why certain things like religion are pervasive. It's because they're socialized from a very young age. They're talked about from a very young age. And I'm a huge believer that financial literacy is one of those things that should be socialized from a very early age, which is why we wrote the For Money Bears book, and which is why we're developing all this technology platforms so that it can be socialized early and conversations can be had. So I am 1000% agreement with you that more conversation needs to be had. It can be so impactful to a family and a community to have these conversations earlier. All right. So point number 3, hit it with us. Hit us with it. What you got?
Savings for saving's sake just does not work for most people. There are a small group of people who love to save, but are money vigilant and are just enjoying being like the Scrooge McDuck. But the rest of us don't need piles of money. We need our money to be used in our life. Like, it drives me crazy when people say money doesn't buy happiness. You're absolutely right. You don't need to be rich to be happy, but money buys the opportunity for happiness because it allows you to have freedom of choice. And so by saving for that choice, for that freedom, for that thing in the future that's going to bring you memories with your families or make your life easier or pleasant, that's what we're saving for, not the piles of cash.
Yeah. I remember sitting down with clients and you're doing the financial planning process and you ask folks to bring all their financial stuff with you, and they sit down, and I would get in the habit of asking people a very simple question. What is the purpose of this account? And the idea is you should always know what every financial asset you own, what the purpose of it is for. Is it a short-term goal, a midterm goal, a long-term goal? Because what happens a lot of times, to your point of not just saving for saving's sake, is there's a story I heard about a young gentleman, a Black kid, graduated from college, first of his family to go to school, to go to graduate school, get a great job, sitting down, setting up his 401k plan, participating in 401k, got a 401k match, all good. And then someone asked him, hey, what's your portfolio look like? He said, oh, I'm doing great. I have all my money in the money market. I'm like, no. Long-term goal of retirement shouldn't be funded with short-term goal assets, which is money market. So you're right. Not just savings for saving's sake, but understanding what the goal is, and then making sure you're using the appropriate tool to get there. So I think, great points all the way across. Dr. Megan McCoy, could you please recap your top 3 for us one more time?
Yes, use a tracking app that is gamified, that is fun. Talk to your loved ones about money and save for goals, not just to save.
Awesome. Folks, I love to say that the financial literacy and the financial education journey is a long one. Luckily, we have folks like Megan here and her colleagues to really put some great information out there to help people on that journey. And I like to say that that journey continues. But more importantly, what we're finding out is whatever motivates you, motivates your money. So, Dr. McCoy, thank you again for joining us. Any last words you'd like to share with the folks out there?
I guess go K-State. And thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Take care.